Tom Robinson's been 100% right about the grooming gangs issue, and he was ahead of his time on that. And I think he deserves a huge amount of credit for it, a huge amount of credit. And we could talk about this in a little bit more detail, by the way, a bit later on, just about, I think, the way that he was treated about that. And I would like to go on record about that, actually. Just in terms of the GB News side of it. So for me personally, as a journalist, I'm happy to interview anyone. So I'd interview Kim Jong-un. I'd happily interview the guy whoever's the head of whatever ISIS is now or something like that. I'm also not saying Tom Robinson's like those people. I'm just making a point.
Would you interview Bonnie Blue?
No, I won't go that far. Never go that far. Never go full Bonnie Blue. No, but so from my personal perspective, I am happy to interview absolutely anybody. One thing that I will say is that I think that we have incredibly outdated and ridiculous and ludicrous contempt of court laws in this country. And if you look back at the situation that Tommy Robinson has found himself in largely over the course of, say, the last, roughly speaking, 3 years, where he's either been entirely involved in some kind of legal action or in prison. And the case that I would use to back this up is what happened to him when he was about to be released this time. They slapped another couple of charges on him. I think, was it a week before he was released or something?
3 days.
3 days before he was released.
Went into prison and said, here's some new charges.
Right, there you go. So they slap a load of charges on him. And why do you think they did that? Well, because he was about to come out of prison, and I think there was definitely a story to tell there. And I think there was definitely a news story. People can agree or disagree with him on anything. Some people might think it was entirely his own fault he was in there. Some people think, of course, he's been persecuted by the state. Right. But there was definitely a news story to be told there, and he'd served his prison sentence, and everything was kind of sewn up, really. And there was an opportunity there, I think, for more mainstream outlets to then start interviewing him. But then that gets kiboshed by the fact that you slap a load of charges, it becomes embroiled in another active case, and that becomes very, very difficult due to our contempt of court laws and Ofcom as well, in order to be able to kind of have the kind of discussion. If you were going to interview Tommy Robinson on television, you'd want to talk about everything. Whatever direction you want to go in. And because of those charges, you were just basically unable to do that. And then, and I think that is a bit of a deliberate thing.